Commander Rex Vance stood at the edge of the Scifi throne chamber. Everything around him looked strange. The walls were tall and made of smooth, glowing crystal. Strange creatures stood guard, tall and silent with golden armor that hummed quietly. It had taken him 6 months to reach this place, through ruined star systems and broken treaties, and now finally he was face to face with the ruler of the Scifi Empire. Queen Silvara sat on her throne like a statue made of silver fire. Her eyes were bright violet and her voice was cold but not cruel. She spoke with calm power, every word clear, every word final. "You are the last human to be offered this trial," she said. "All others have failed. Do you understand what is at stake?" Rex nodded once. His body was tired, but his spirit was not. He had survived the war with the Scifi when others had fallen. He had lost his brother in the siege of Titan. He had watched his home burned from orbit, but he had never given up. "I understand," Rex said. "If I pass, Earth gains peace. If I fail, we remain nothing but insects in your eyes." The Queen tilted her head slightly. "And if you pass, you will not only earn peace, you will earn me." Rex didn't blink. "That's not why I'm here." Her smile was strange, neither kind nor mocking. "We shall see." A soft sound echoed through the room like a heartbeat deep under the ground. A door opened behind the throne. It led to darkness and nothing else. "That path leads to the trial world," said the Queen. "It is alive. It was made by my ancestors to test those who seek power. It will know your thoughts, your fears, and your history. It will use all of them against you." Rex took a step forward. "Let it try." The guards moved aside and the Queen rose slowly. Her voice became softer but colder. "Listen closely, human. Many of your kind have entered. Soldiers, champions, even scientists. All believed they could pass. None returned. Some begged to be released. Others screamed until they died. One simply vanished." Rex stared into the darkness. It looked endless, but he didn't turn away. "Why me?" he asked. "Why offer this again if all humans have failed?" The Queen walked closer, stopping just a few steps from him. "Because you interest me. Because when your ship was surrounded, you did not fire. When your enemies were weak, you showed mercy. And when your people asked for revenge, you chose silence." She leaned closer. "You are not like the others. But that does not mean you will survive." Rex stayed calm. "I'm not here to survive. I'm here to win." For a moment, the Queen's eyes flickered with something. Respect or maybe curiosity. Then she turned her back and walked toward her throne. "Very well," she said. "Enter the trial. If you survive, I will give you my crown, my hand, and a future between our worlds." Rex stepped forward. The doorway felt cold as he passed through it. The light behind him faded and he was alone. He woke in a strange place. A forest with trees made of glass with skies that changed color every second. The ground moved like it was breathing. There was no sun, no wind, no noise. Just silence and the sound of his own heartbeat. He checked his suit. No weapons, no tools, no map. The trial had taken everything. In the distance, something moved. A shape, tall and human-like. Rex moved slowly, carefully. But when he got closer, the figure vanished, turning into dust. Then he heard it. A voice, soft, familiar. "Rex, why didn't you save me?" He froze. That voice belonged to his brother. He turned fast, looking for the source. No one was there. More voices followed. His old squadmates, his mother, his commander, all of them speaking his doubts, his fears, his guilt. He fell to his knees, gripping his head. The trial was already inside his mind, but Rex clenched his jaw and stood up. "You can show me whatever you want," he said to the air. "You can dig into my past. You can play with my pain, but I'm still here." Silence returned. He took his first step forward, then another. The forest shifted around him, becoming darker, deeper, stranger, but he kept walking. Far away in her throne room, Queen Silvara watched the trial chamber with quiet focus. No one had ever lasted more than 10 minutes without falling to fear. "Interesting," she whispered. "Let's see how far you can go, Rex Vance." Rex walked deeper into the strange forest. The trees looked like glass, but they didn't break when he touched them. Their branches moved slowly, like they were alive. The sky above him kept changing colors, blue, red, gold, and black. It made it hard to know the time. There was no sun, no stars, just shifting light in an endless path. He had no food, no water, and no weapons. His clothes were plain and light. He felt watched, but no one was there. The trial was not just testing his strength. It was testing his mind. As he moved forward, the ground beneath him began to crack. He stepped back quickly, and a large piece of land broke apart and floated upward like it was weightless. From the hole, steam rose up. It smelled like ash and metal. Rex coughed, waving the smoke away from his face. Then he heard footsteps. He turned sharply, ready for anything, but nothing came. Just more smoke and silence. Then from behind a broken tree, a figure stepped out. It looked human, but something was wrong. Its skin was pale, almost gray, and its eyes were pure white. It stared at Rex without blinking. "Who are you?" Rex asked, standing firm. The figure didn't answer. It began to walk toward him slowly. Rex raised his fists. If this was the first challenge, he was ready. But before he could strike, the figure stopped and collapsed. Its body turned to dust, carried away by the wind. Then a voice came from the air, deep and low. "This is not a place of fighting. This is a place of truth." Rex looked around, trying to find the source. "Then show me truth," he shouted. "I'm not afraid." The ground rumbled. Suddenly the world changed. The forest disappeared. Now he was standing in a hallway, familiar, cold, and dark. He knew this place. It was the ship he had lost his brother on during the Titan mission. The lights flickered. The walls were burned. The smell of fire and blood filled his nose. He walked forward slowly. He remembered this hallway, the screams, the heat, the chaos. Then he saw him, his brother Leo. He was lying on the ground, reaching out for help, trapped under metal beams. Just like before. "No," Rex whispered. He ran forward, knelt beside him, and tried to lift the metal just like he had done years ago, but it wouldn't move. "You didn't save me," Leo said, looking into his eyes. "You chose the mission." "You left me. I didn't have a choice," Rex shouted. "I came back, but it was too late." The lights went out. When they came back on, he was alone. The hallway was gone. He was back in the forest. His hands were shaking, but he stood up again. The trial was digging into his memories, showing him pain. Trying to break him, but he was still standing. Hours passed, or maybe days. There was no way to know. The land kept changing. One moment it was a desert. The next, a cold ocean. Then a field of metal bones. In the field, he found something shocking. A human body. It was wearing an old Earth military uniform. The same kind Rex had worn in the war. He walked closer and knelt beside it. The skin was dry, the eyes closed. But it was not a skeleton. It was preserved somehow. He checked the ID tag, Elena Griggs, Lieutenant Earth Forces. He knew her name. She had gone missing during the first trial attempt. Everyone thought she was dead. Suddenly her eyes opened. Rex jumped back, hand ready to fight. "Wait," she said, her voice dry and weak. "You're human?" Rex nodded slowly. "You're alive?" "Barely," she said. "The trial. It keeps me alive. It won't let me die." He gave her water from a small stream nearby. She drank slowly, coughing. "I've been here for years," she said. "It's not a test. It's a trap. It watches you, learns from you. Then it uses your mind against you." "Why you?" Rex asked. "Why keep you alive?" "To scare the next one," she said. "To remind you that escape is a lie." Rex sat beside her. "How do I beat it?" She looked at him with tired eyes. "You don't fight it with muscles. You fight it with memory. It wants you to forget who you are. That's how it wins. Hold on to your truth." Then her body began to fade like dust. Her time had run out. Before she vanished, she whispered, "It knows you. It's afraid of you." Rex stood up slowly. He looked at the strange sky. The trial was alive, and for the first time it was afraid. Rex walked alone through the field of metal bones. The ground crunched under his boots. The air was dry and silent, with no wind, no movement. The strange sun above had turned red but gave no warmth. He kept thinking about Elena. She had survived here for years, trapped in a place that tried to break her mind. And now, she was gone. Her last words echoed in his head. "It knows you. It's afraid of you." Rex didn't feel powerful. He felt tired. His legs were heavy and his throat dry. But inside, his mind was sharp. He remembered who he was. That was the key. That was the weapon. As he walked forward, the bones began to change. At first they were alien, then human. Then they became faces. Faces he knew. Faces from his past, his old team, his friends, even his mother, all lying still, their eyes closed, their hands reaching out. He wanted to look away. He wanted to run, but he didn't. He walked through them, whispering to each, "I remember you." I didn't forget. The trial didn't like that. The sky cracked. A deep sound came from above, like thunder underwater. The ground began to move. Suddenly, the bones rose from the earth, forming shapes, creatures, machines, soldiers. They stood tall, their eyes glowing, their hands holding weapons made of light and fire. One stepped forward. Its face was exactly like Rex's, same hair, same eyes, same scar above the eyebrow. But its smile was cold. "You are weak," it said. "You hide behind memory. You run from the truth." Rex stared at it. "And what is the truth?" "You let them die," it said. "Your team, your brother. You could have saved them." Rex clenched his fists. The words hurt, but he didn't step back. "I tried," he said. "And I'll carry them with me until my last breath. That's not weakness. That's being human." The copy of Rex raised its hand. The other creatures began to move, surrounding him. "You will break," it said. Rex didn't move. He closed his eyes for a moment, breathed deeply, and remembered something. A memory. His brother's laughter. A warm day on Earth, before the war. A small moment, but real. He opened his eyes. The creatures froze. The red sky turned white. The fake Rex screamed, his body breaking into smoke, and just like that, the trial changed again. Now Rex stood in a long hallway made of mirrors. He looked around and saw hundreds of reflections, each one showing a different version of himself. In one mirror, he was old and tired, wearing a crown. In another, he was young, full of fire, holding a weapon. In another, he was broken, sitting alone in the dark. He walked past them slowly, looking at each version. Some were better, some were worse. But all of them were him. Then one mirror shimmered and opened like a door. He stepped through. Now he was in a white room, quiet, empty. A table stood in the middle. On it, a file. He opened it. Inside were reports, photos, videos, all of him. Everything he had done, everything he had failed to do, his mistakes, his regrets, his victories. This was his life, shown back to him by the trial. Then the lights dimmed. A voice spoke. "You are not special. You are not strong. You are just a man full of pain." Rex sat down in the chair beside the table. "You're right," he said. "I am full of pain." The room was silent. But I still stand. I still walk. I still fight. That's what makes me strong. The voice was quiet now, almost unsure. "Why do you keep going?" it asked. "Because someone has to," Rex said. "Because peace is worth fighting for. Because they died so I could keep moving. And because I'm not done yet." The room shook. Cracks formed on the walls. Then the voice said something new. "You are different." A door opened ahead. Warm light spilled through it. Rex stood up, walked to it, and looked back once. He had faced the lies, the pain, and the copies, and he was still himself. He stepped through the door. The trial had more to show him. But now, it was starting to understand something. This human was not like the others. He did not break. He adapted. He remembered, and he moved forward. Rex stepped into the new place. It was no longer a forest or battlefield, no longer filled with smoke or mirrors. It looked almost normal. The air was clean. The sky above was soft blue with slow-moving clouds. Birds flew peacefully, singing. Trees swayed gently in the breeze. He blinked, unsure if it was real. Then he saw it. A small house stood in the distance. White walls, wooden roof, a little garden in front. It looked just like the house where he grew up on Earth. But that place had been destroyed years ago, burned during the invasion. This had to be another trick. Still, his feet moved on their own. The closer he got, the more memories returned. The way the door creaked, the smell of fresh soil, the sound of wind chimes. He reached the front step and paused. His hand hovered over the doorknob. "Go ahead," a voice said behind him. Rex turned fast. A man stood there, tall, calm, dressed in a plain gray uniform. His face looked familiar but not fully human. His eyes glowed faintly blue. "You're part of the trial," Rex said. The man nodded. "Yes, but I'm not here to fight. Not now." "Then why are you here?" Rex asked. "To explain," the man said, stepping closer. "You've come further than any human. You've passed tests that were meant to crush you. The trial has begun to change because of you." Rex narrowed his eyes. "What does that mean?" The man looked at the sky. "This place is alive. It learns from those who enter. It was made by the Zirathi to judge outsiders. But none have lasted as long as you. Now the trial doesn't know what to do with you." Rex crossed his arms. "Let me guess. Now it wants to offer me a choice?" The man smiled slightly. "You are correct." The house behind them faded slowly, like mist. In its place stood two doors, one made of gold, the other of stone. "One door leads to peace," said the man. "The trial ends, you return home, Earth gains freedom. You will be remembered as the human who succeeded." "And the other?" Rex asked. "That door leads to knowledge," the man said. "True knowledge, the kind that no human has ever seen. But it comes with danger. You may not return. You may not survive. The trial will test your soul, not just your mind." Rex looked at both doors. Golden light, heavy stone. "You want me to walk away now?" Rex said. "Take the safe path, end it here." The man didn't answer. He didn't need to. Rex stepped forward, but not toward the golden door. He stood in front of the stone door. "Knowledge," he said, "is the only way we grow. If I return with peace, Earth will still be weak. But if I return with truth, we'll be ready for anything." The man's face changed for the first time. He looked surprised. "No one has ever chosen the second door," he said. Rex smiled. "Then it's about time someone did." He pushed the stone door open. Darkness waited on the other side, but this time it didn't feel cold. It felt deep, ancient, like the bottom of an ocean or the beginning of time. He stepped through. At once, the world fell away. He was floating. No ground, no sky, just stars all around him. Endless stars, galaxies, planets. He saw time bend, light twist, history unfold before him like a book with no end. He saw the birth of the Zirathi species, their rise, their fear of destruction, their hunger for order. He saw the building of the trial, designed not as a prison, but as a protector. A wall to keep chaos out. A judge of those who entered their space. He saw Earth, small and bright, full of noise and war, but also love, hope, and fire. He saw himself, a flicker in the dark, but burning brighter than all the rest. Then the stars spoke, not with words, with feeling, with memory, with understanding. Humanity is not perfect, but it is something we have never seen before. You build from ashes, you rise from defeat. You remember pain, but still choose kindness. Rex floated calmly, listening. You passed the trial not because you were the strongest, but because you refused to forget who you were. Suddenly the stars became one. A beam of pure light shot through his chest. But it didn't hurt. Instead, he felt whole. He opened his eyes. He was back in the throne room. The queen stood before him. Her eyes wide, her expression unreadable. "You returned," she whispered. "No one ever has." Rex looked at his hands. He still felt the light inside him. "I saw everything," he said. "I know what the trial truly is, and I know what Earth can become." The queen stepped forward. "Then you have passed the final trial." She lowered her head. "The crown, the peace, and my trust. All are yours. Rex Vance of Earth. But Rex wasn't finished yet, because now he knew a greater truth and a greater danger, and something was coming. Rex stood still in the grand throne room. His heart was calm, but his mind was spinning. He had passed the final trial. He had seen things no human was ever meant to see, yet deep inside he knew something wasn't right. The alien queen stepped down from her crystal throne. Her long cloak shimmered like water, and her crown floated just above her head. "You carry the light of the trial," she said. "You now have the knowledge of the stars. Your name will be remembered by all living races." Rex looked at her not with pride but with curiosity. "Why did you offer this to a human?" he asked. "Why now?" She paused. Her silver eyes dimmed slightly. "Because we were losing." Rex stepped closer. "Losing what?" The queen raised her hand and a large circle of light opened beside her. It showed a dark part of the galaxy, where no stars shined. In the middle of the darkness, something was moving. Something massive. "We call it the hunger," she said. "It is not a species. It is not a machine. It is the end of all things. It eats light, time, and memory. We tried to fight it. We failed. One by one, worlds fell. Systems vanished. Even the trial was designed long ago, not to judge, but to find hope." Rex stared at the moving shadow in the light window. It had no shape, only darkness that kept growing. "You were searching for someone," he said slowly. "Someone who wouldn't break." The queen nodded. "The trial tested over 4,000 species. All failed. Until you. Humanity was the last on our list." Rex didn't feel proud. He felt the weight of what was coming. "What do you need from me?" he asked. "Not just you," she said. "Your world. Your kind. Your fire. Your refusal to give up." She turned and waved her hand. A wall opened, showing a room filled with ancient technology, floating maps, shifting machines, and at the center, a large empty chair. "The trial gave you the code," she said. "That light inside you. It's the key to awakening our last defense. A ship built from the memory of stars, but it will not fly without a mind strong enough to hold it." Rex looked at the chair. Somehow he knew it was waiting for him. "Why me?" he asked. "I'm just a soldier." "No," the queen said gently. "You are a reminder that pain does not break you. That love makes you stronger. That humans are more than flesh, they are will." He took a slow breath. "Then show me how it works." The chamber was cold and quiet. The massive ship, called the Ark of Silence, hovered above a silver lake. It was unlike anything Rex had ever seen. It wasn't just metal. It pulsed like a living thing. As he stepped inside, the ship reacted to his presence. Lights turned on, walls reshaped, and strange symbols glowed around him. The queen walked beside him. The ship was built using lost knowledge, half organic, half energy. It was meant to be flown by one who could survive the trial. Now it answers to you. Rex stepped into the command chair. As soon as he sat down, energy flowed through his body. But it didn't burn. It felt like home. He saw flashes, millions of stars, forgotten languages, dead galaxies, and one thing in common: the hunger was growing. It had already consumed 19 civilizations, and it was coming toward Earth. Back in the throne room, ambassadors from many alien worlds gathered. Creatures of all shapes and sizes watched as Rex stood before them. "I'm not a king," he said, his voice clear. "I didn't come here for power or glory. I came here because my world was threatened." He looked around at them all. "But now I see the truth. We are all threatened. Not just humans. Not just your species. All of us." A large creature with eyes on its shoulders spoke. "Then what is your plan, human?" Rex answered without fear. "We fight." A quiet murmur ran through the room. "You would lead us into war?" one asked. "No," Rex said. "I'll lead us into survival. Into unity. Into something the hunger has never faced before." He raised his hand and a blue flame appeared in his palm. The mark of the trial. "We may be many worlds, many kinds. But today, we stand as one. The queen stepped forward and placed her crown on his arm, not as a symbol of rule, but of trust. "Then let this be the first day of our last war," she said. Rex nodded. The Ark of Silence was ready. The galaxy was watching and the hunger was near, but this time humanity would not face the unknown alone. This time, the stars had a soldier. Rex stood on the bridge of the Ark of Silence watching stars move across the glass floor. The ship was massive, yet it moved like a thought, silent and smooth. It was more than a machine. It was alive. Connected to him, all around him, the crew prepared. Alien commanders, human engineers, and artificial minds worked together. None of them had ever served on the same ship before, but now they had one goal: to stop the hunger. The Queen's voice came through a glowing orb beside him. "We've received a signal," she said. "The outer colonies are gone. No distress calls. No survivors. Just silence." Rex closed his eyes. Every moment they waited, more lives were lost. "Plot a course," he said. "We go now." The stars shifted again and the Ark jumped. There was no light, no sound, just an instant leap across half the galaxy. When they stopped, everything changed. The area ahead was empty. No planets, no moons. Just darkness, not the normal kind, but thick, alive, moving. Rex stepped forward, so this was it. The hunger. It didn't have a shape, not truly, but it had presence. A wall of shadow stretching across space like a wave ready to swallow everything. The ship's sensors began to fail. Data collapsing. The science officer said, "Time and space are unstable." "Stay calm," Rex said. "We hold the line." Suddenly, something moved within the darkness. Shapes began to appear. Twisted forms. Not ships, not creatures, just things. They were made from pieces of what they had eaten. Broken satellites. Bones, metal, glass, screams. One of them reached forward, its arms like torn wires, and touched a nearby scout ship. In seconds, the ship vanished, consumed without sound or explosion. The crew stared in horror. "This is what we're fighting?" one of the alien soldiers asked. "Yes," Rex said, "and we don't run." He turned to the weapons station. "Arm the solar lance." The Ark's core began to glow. Energy flowed through golden lines on the walls. The ship charged its main weapon, power borrowed from the trial itself. The voice of the ship whispered in Rex's mind. "Firing now will reveal your position to the full swarm." "Are you sure?" "Yes," he thought. "Let them see us." The front of the ship opened like a blooming flower and a spear of light shot forward. It struck the darkness, cutting a path straight through. For a moment, the shadow screamed. It pulled back, burned, wounded. Rex didn't wait. "Send the signal," he ordered. A pulse went out across the stars. It reached every allied world, every warship, every species that had survived until now. The fight has begun. One by one, ships began to arrive. Human fleets, Xerathi cruisers, insectoid swarm ships, even species that had once been enemies now came side by side. In just minutes, thousands of ships formed behind the Ark. They didn't speak the same language. They didn't share the same gods or beliefs. But they all understood one thing. If they didn't stand together now, they would all vanish alone. The hunger moved again. This time, it sent its full wave. A wall of darkness rushed toward them, fast, endless, angry. "Hold the line." Rex shouted. The battle began. The sky exploded into color. Ships fired beams, torpedoes, and bursts of lightning. The hunger struck back, sending out creatures made from everything it had eaten. Monsters with memories, made to break hearts and minds. One human ship fell, screaming as it was pulled into the dark. Then an alien ship beside it rammed forward, sacrificing itself to save the others. Rex watched it all, heart pounding, voice steady. He guided the Ark like a sword, cutting, weaving, leading. He didn't sit in the captain's chair. He stood, always watching, always moving. The ship whispered more warnings into his mind. Systems failing. Enemy adapting. Victory uncertain. But Rex didn't listen to doubt. He thought of Earth. He thought of Elena. He thought of every person who couldn't fight but trusted him to. And then, he felt something deep in the ship's core. A hidden chamber, a place he hadn't seen before. He went there alone, the ship opening a path for him. At the center was a sphere of light pulsing with slow, ancient energy. The trial had left him a final choice. He could use this power to destroy the hunger, but the price would be high. His mind. His life. Maybe more. He placed his hand on the sphere. The ship asked only one question. "Are you sure?" Rex nodded. "I didn't come this far to stop halfway." Rex placed his hand firmly on the glowing sphere. Energy surged through him, not like pain but like fire warming every corner of his being. The ship hummed, alive and awake, as if it recognized him as more than a captain, as a partner, a soldier, and a guardian. The hunger loomed ahead, a wave of pure darkness that stretched across the stars. It moved like water, liquid and endless, consuming everything in its path. Ships behind him hesitated, sensing its power. Fear was everywhere, but Rex did not falter. He focused on one thing, the sphere. The ancient energy flowed into him, filling every thought, every cell. He could feel the trial guiding him still, whispering knowledge humans were never meant to hold. But he would not let it overwhelm him. He would control it. "Hold your positions," Rex shouted over the comms. His voice was strong, steady. "We are not prey. We are light, and light does not bow to darkness." The Allied fleets held formation. The humans fired their laser cannons. The Xyrathi unleashed plasma volleys, and the insectoid ships charged forward, striking the tendrils of the darkness with energy-draining beams. For the first time, the hunger faltered. It paused, it reacted. It had never faced resistance like this. Rex raised his hand. The sphere's energy shot outward, spreading through the arc and connecting to every Allied vessel. The power surged through the ships like lightning, synchronizing them. They moved as one, a single organism, a single will. Then he focused on the darkness directly. The hunger screamed, not in sound but in sensation. It tried to twist his mind, to turn his fears against him. Images of destruction, loss, and failure flooded his vision. He saw Earth consumed. He saw his friends dying again. But Rex did not flinch. He breathed deeply, remembering the trial. Remembering Elena, his brother, and every soul that had given him hope. He held on to memory. He held on to humanity. And in that memory he found strength. With a shout, he released the sphere's energy. A beam of pure, brilliant light shot through the void, cutting across the darkness. It split the hunger like a storm tearing clouds apart. The wave writhed and struggled, then recoiled, shrinking under the pressure of the combined power of humans and allies. Ships surged forward, striking the darkness with all they had. The hunger shrieked across the void, its form breaking into fragments. Pieces of consumed stars, shattered worlds, and twisted metal fell apart. The void shrank. Light returned. Rex stood at the command chair, exhausted but steady. His body trembled from the power, but he smiled. He had done it. They had done it. Humanity had not only survived, they had led. Behind him, the Queen appeared on the bridge. Her silver eyes shone brighter than ever. "You have done what none could," she said. "Not just survived the trial, but carried the galaxy through its darkest hour." Rex shook his head. "I didn't do it alone." Everyone fought. Humans, Xyrathi, allies we never imagined trusting. The hunger fell because we stood together. She nodded slowly. "And yet, it will return someday. But now hope exists, and it is yours to protect." Rex looked out at the stars. Many systems were still scarred, many lives lost. But the sky was alive with light, ships returning, planets surviving. The galaxy had been tested and humanity had risen to lead. "We need to rebuild," he said. "Not just for Earth, but for everyone. We have to be ready next time." The Queen approached him and extended her hand, not in command, but in partnership. "Then take my hand, Rex Vance of Earth, not as a prize, but as an equal. Together we will ensure this victory lasts." Rex took her hand. The gesture was simple, but it meant more than crowns, more than titles. It meant trust, unity, a shared promise to protect life itself. The fleets behind them cheered, their voices and signals echoing across the void. Humanity had proven itself, not just through survival, but through courage, will, and determination. Other species looked to them now, not with fear, but with respect. Rex felt the sphere inside him fade gently. Its energy was no longer raw and overwhelming. It had become part of him. The trial had ended, but its lesson remained. The true power of humans was not in strength or weapons, but in their spirit. Their ability to endure, to adapt, and to rise when the odds were impossible. He closed his eyes and breathed. For the first time in years, he felt hope that was calm, steady, and true. Earth would survive, humanity would rise, and the galaxy would remember this day. The Queen whispered, "Your name will live among the stars, Rex. Not because you were chosen, but because you chose to stand." Rex looked at her and smiled. "Then let's make sure we are ready for whatever comes next." Outside the ark, stars shone brighter. The darkness had been pushed back. The galaxy was safe for now, and humanity, small and fragile, had become a force even the universe had to respect. Rex walked to the bridge's edge, looking at the horizon. Somewhere new stars were forming, new worlds awaited, and humanity's story was only beginning. For the first time, Rex understood the trial's true meaning. It had not been about winning or power or even survival. It had been about showing the universe that humans could rise, no matter the darkness and humanity had